the director of the North Georgia Pregnancy Center in Jasper, Georgia. Patricia, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be with you.
Patricia, this week we're giving special emphasis to the pro-life issue, heading up toward Sanctity of Human Life Sunday. And we know there are CPCs, crisis pregnancy centers, all around the country doing great frontline work. I want to invite you on American Family Radio to ask you to talk to us, because I know that Jasper, Georgia is not a huge town, and maybe some people would think, well, in a small town, you don't need a crisis pregnancy center. Tell us about the North Georgia Pregnancy Center.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. It's an honor to be with you. The North Georgia Pregnancy Center serves many counties in the North Georgia area. Pickens County is the county where we're located. We serve Gilmer, Bartow. We're starting to branch out into Cherokee. And we're a small little community up there. We're about a little over an hour from the downtown Atlanta area in Georgia. And there are a lot of needy girls in that specific area. We only serve about 2 days a week. We don't really have a lot of need. We would love to open more. But the girls we have that come in are usually pretty determined to keep their babies. We have everyone that comes in is abortion vulnerable. They need to know that their baby is thriving. They need to know that their baby has a heartbeat at just a few days old. A lot of these girls are unemployed. They have poverty, a lot of poverty in their families and in their background, and they just are very uneducated about how to handle an unplanned pregnancy. We have about 50. We don't have a lot of girls that have had abortions in our county, but we have a lot of needs. We're a small nonprofit Christian ministry, and girls that come in usually have their boyfriend or their mother or their grandmother or a friend, and they're just to death. They really don't have any hope. They have no insurance. They have no plans for a baby. So a lot of them are still in high school. Some just go ahead and drop out. We sit down with them and we talk to them about their options. We let them know that there's hope. Give them a free pregnancy test. And if the pregnancy test is positive, we come in there and talk to them and say, we are here for you. I don't know if you have anyone in your life that's going to be here for you. A lot of girls are rejected by their family. They just don't know where they're going to get their diapers, and they don't know how they're going to get the prenatal help that they need. And so we are there to hope in a lot of ways. We are probably one of the few Christian organizations in the community that really feel the freedom and have the freedom to present the gospel as the opportunity arises. We don't always take the initiative right away to talk about the Lord. We always take the initiative to pray with them. And I don't think we've ever had a girl that said, I don't want you to pray with me. They're all very, they need help. They've come to our door. We didn't seek them. So we have a great opportunity to just wrap our arms around them and love them and say, we have some programs here that you can really benefit from. Because, we don't just want to put a Band-Aid on their problem and then they leave and they go on their way. We're kind of there long-term for our girls.
We're talking to Patricia Page, Assistant Director of the North Georgia Pregnancy Center. We're spotlighting the work of the pro-life cause this week, and one of the main, as Ray said, frontline areas that this is happening is in the Crisis Pregnancy Center work that's being done all over the country, and that's what Patricia does with the North Georgia Pregnancy Center. How far is Jasper outside of Atlanta?
We're about a little over an hour's drive up 515, 575 in the North Georgia mountains, just at the foothill of the Blue Ridge Mountains up there.
How many? This again is a perfect time to distinguish here between the religion, and I understand, folks, that Christianity is a relationship. So, but I mean this in a comparative religion sense. The religion of Christianity versus other religions of the world that you see. I dare say there's no other religion in the world, Ray, you would be able to confirm this, with the possible exception of Judaism, that cares about other people the way that Christianity does, with no, there's nothing in this for Patricia.
Right.
Patricia, I mean, there's no glory in this. You're not getting rich doing this. You're only and your team there. You can barely make it, probably. I mean, you have to struggle financially.
We really live month to month up there, and with people that are willing to donate. It's all of our volunteers. We have about 12 volunteers.
So why do you care? I guess I got to ask the question.
Okay.
That goes so against what human nature is motivated by. So why do you care about these girls who come in 17 years old and they're pregnant, don't have anybody to help them? You could be doing your own life out there.
Well, I tell you, I could be, and I feel very blessed because I actually have been a wedding coordinator for many years, and one of the things I love to do is to encourage these girls, if they have a boyfriend or a fiance, whatever you call it, to say, we can help you plan a wedding if you would like to get married and help you start your family. Because, the family structure is just crumbling in America, and the government's not going to save us. And sadly enough, we have local churches that won't support us because they don't want to get into these controversial issues. So
controversial issues.
I know.
Oh,
I know.
Word.
It cracks me up because
I know.
Coming from a minister's home as a preacher's kid, this influences all of life. If you don't want to take a pro-life stand, if you're really, quote, pro-choice, let's talk about all those choices. The choices that we have are abortion, adoption, or, having your baby. And we help you through it. The reason I'm personally motivated is because I believe that all of life is precious, and from conception to the grave. And I have 4 children, and I have grandchildren, and I had a newborn grandson right before Christmas. And about the same time, a girl called in one day and said, "Are y'all an abortion clinic? Do y'all take this certain insurance?" And I said, "Oh, no, but let me ask you, how are you? How far along are you?" She thought we were an abortion clinic. So I started talking to her. Here's a woman who's a single mom, as a teenager, really doesn't want another baby. And I said, "Why don't you come in and have a free ultrasound? Why don't you come in, let us give you a free pregnancy test and talk with you? Because you know what? If you do go through with your abortion, we're still going to be here for you." Those girls need just as much help as a woman that comes in that wants her baby with an unplanned pregnancy. And, when they go out of our office and they leave, if they never come back, they know that we're going to be there for them. I've been in the hospital when babies have been born that had nobody else to be there with them. Who wants to go through life alone with nobody with them, no support system? They're just going to be another statistic on the government's roll. And so we try to get local churches involved to give these girls, there's hope out there. You'd be surprised how many girls come in our office and they fill out the application and they say, "Yes, I'm a Christian, I was baptized." And we don't blow that off. We say, "Really? Well, what does that mean to you? How's that working for you?" kind of thing. And we're not rude to them, but what does that mean that you were baptized? And honestly, so many of them don't even know. And we want to say to them, if you made a commitment to the Lord, if you're baptized, let us help you work that through in your life. What does that really mean? How can you live as a Christian? How does your life look different from someone that doesn't know Jesus? And so how does that work into your pregnancy? How can we help you and let you look through some of our classes and say, "You know what, I think I need some prenatal assistance," or "I think I need to learn how to teach my baby. I think I need to learn to grow in the Lord. I need to plug into a Bible study. I don't know much about this word Christian." And, we take baby steps with them as they're willing to. When they leave there at the end of 9 months, we hope that we've empowered them through Christ to have the tools they need to start changing their life around. So, that's where I get excited,
Patricia, what would be the average age of a girl coming in? I suspect that you have some teenage girls coming in, but from
do.
what to what would you say is the age range?
Well, right now I would say between 18 and 30, 18 to late 20s. We have had some 12 and 14 and 16-year-old girls come through there that are still living at home, and we want the parents to be involved as much as they can. The girls, a lot of times they know the father, a lot of times they don't know the father. But we have an average of high school, late high school, juniors, seniors, up through probably 30. And we have had ladies in their 40s come through that have never been pregnant, and they all of a sudden are pregnant, and we're there for them. They don't have a support team. So we don't like repeat customers. We would love to be put out of business. That's the goal.
Sure.
But in the meantime, as long as we live in the world that we live in, we want to be there to show them the love of Christ, be their friend, we only present sexual abstinence as an option for teens and singles. And we have community-wide opportunities that we give information out and talk to young people about this is possible, remain abstinent, and why is it possible, and how you do that. And not just give the buzzwords out, but to say, look, we want to be here for you. I live in a community where I would love to see families, couples. We had a wedding for 2 couples last year, and they are doing very well. They're thriving. They're employed. And the neat thing about North Georgia is there's such an incredible community of organizations that offer that have resources to help these families. We are just a crisis pregnancy center. We can't help with all the other things that they need, but we can point them to other. There's probably 12 resources at least, and we have a group called Thrive to 5, and we are just a pathway for family services in that community that say, we'll help you finish your education. We will help you find child care for your child so you can finish school. We'll help you with auto repairs. We'll help you with equipping your child to start school, with food, with housing, financial assistance. So we're not an entity unto ourselves. We work with a very loving, supportive community, and a lot of churches are involved, a lot of organizations that come along. We might not all be the same denomination, but we all have a heart for these babies. And that's what brings us together.
Well, Patricia, what do you do if a young woman comes in who wants to keep her baby, but she is feeling some pressure, maybe from the boy, maybe from a husband, some pressure from the family to get an abortion?
Well, we've had that come up quite a bit. We invite her to bring those family members in. The more the merrier. We'll all sit in a room and we'll talk this out. And if the father does not want to be involved, he doesn't have to come in. But if he is pressuring her, we sit down and have a counseling session. We invite them to the ultrasound that we give the first trimester of their pregnancy. A lot of them don't realize there's a beating heart and there's a baby there. They think of this is just a problem. We just can't handle it. And we want them to know that, we're there to offer you some hope. And we have some very tangible things that we can talk to them about.
Patricia, we're about to run out of time here.
Okay.
What is your website?
www.it stands for North, ngapregnancy.org. So www.ngapregnancy.org, the North Georgia Pregnancy Center. Yeah.
And let me just challenge everyone listening to us today. You personally and or your church needs to be financially supporting your local crisis pregnancy center, like what Pat does at the North Georgia Pregnancy Center in Jasper, Georgia. You need to find out who that is in your community, if you don't know already, and your church missions budget and your personal bank account needs to be affected by the work of these folks because they're doing it voluntarily.
You can hear the passion in her voice.
They're saving babies. We can't we're restricted now with the laws being what they are across the country in terms of what we can do about abortion, but we can certainly do what Patricia does and what crisis pregnancy centers do every day, and that is minister to these ladies, talk to them, reason with them, and pray with them, and try to help them in a practical way. Pat, thanks so much for your time and your work there, and thanks for sharing with us inside a Crisis Pregnancy Center.
Thank you so much. It was an honor.
Next time on Today's Issues,
We avoided